Do you read me?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Comm Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me?
Pacho, this is Comm Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Comm Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. All right. Get some. All right. What's going on, everybody? Another Friday is here. Baby Friday. Friday night's Eve. But goddamn, it's almost the weekend. Hey, we got an amazing guest today. I mean, she's a truly badass. I mean, all about resilience, which is one thing that we talk about a lot on this show, just kicking ass and taking names. But before we get into all that and talking to our amazing guest, let's get all the pleasantries out of the way. Hey, when was the last time that you found yourself maybe, not really saving and putting anything away for retirement? Maybe you just got out of the military, you don't know what to do with your thrift savings plan, and you just served 4 years and what to do next. Or maybe you did 20 plus years and then you're like, oh, well, what am I going to do next? How am I going to protect my family and whatever else? Well, at the Money Pro, they help implement some very specific strategies and techniques that can help you get into, not only protect your family, but also be able to do something with those monies, which you can no longer contribute while you're in a TSP. By putting it somewhere where you can actually still contribute after the service, you'll be able to achieve your financial goals and cope with your retirement or your VA benefits. That money is going to go a long way. So hopefully you don't find yourself in your 60s greeting people as a senior citizen at a Walmart because you can't keep making your payments. And by the way, if you're in that mentality that, hey, when I'm older, I'll spend less, because I don't need that much money, that is completely not true. I do this for a living. I help a lot of people. So if it makes sense and you want to check something out, go meetthemoneypro.com and then watch the video that's on there. There's on the upper right-hand corner, there is a link to get on the calendar, have a discussion. Again, you get 1 hour strategy session where you learn some very specific strategies and techniques that you can apply right away to stop the bleeding, maybe make an extra $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 part-time without completely changing whatever it is that you're currently doing. Again, and if it makes sense, great. And if not, that's okay. It's all right. There's no commitments. We're not getting married. You know what I'm saying? The other thing is that, that in this show, we talk about the VA. Yes, the system is not perfect, but it's the only one that we have. So we can either complain about it or make it better. So nonetheless, you want to get in there and apply for your claims. Doesn't matter how long it's been, whether it's been 10 years, 15, 20 years after your service, or you just retire. Please take advantage of that organization and the services that it affords you, because it's the only one that we have, as I said. Okay, so check them out. If you need help putting a claim together, you can reach out to my show. You can go ahead and, I got the resources. I can push you in the right direction, but don't shortchange yourself. And by the way, VA benefits, nothing's going away with the VA. They're just going through a huge structure, but the director of the VA, the secretary of the VA already spoke about it, saying, hey, look, don't listen to the information that's being out there on social media, as well as some other, news media channels. Don't believe the hype, like the song used to say back in the day, because the hype is not real. So VA benefits are not going anywhere. If anything, they're going to get a lot better. So that, I'm very optimistic about that. Okay. So, and then last but not least, you know that in this show, we're all about supporting the great American Constitution. I mean, us as Americans, that document is here to protect us and give us our rights. So if you like what you hear, you like this awesome, amazing accent, that is great. Stick around. And then we can talk. We have some really cool discussions. Or if not, that's okay. Swipe left and perhaps check something out from Sitchradio.com. Those are our partners. And Brian Culver is an amazing individual. Check out some of his shows. And hey, look, support the First, Second Amendment and everything else that the Constitution does for us. So if you're all about that, hey, that is great. All right, I think that's all the pleasantries out of the way. So let's get on with the real deal. Let's bring out, our guest. Hey, look, this she is an amazing person. Very has a lot of cool energy. I like the vibe. We met today, and we were just kind of like talking. I'm like, hey, how would you like to come on my show? I think you'd be a great guest. She's like, holy cow, I'm down, whatever. So here we are. Christine is an amazing individual. She's an Air Force veteran. She did her time, and she's really got a cool story. So let's see where the conversation goes. So hey, so let's talk a little bit to Miss Christine Cobb Kennedy. Cobb Kennedy, not just by itself. All right. So how you doing, Christine? How are you?
I'm good, Paco. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Hey, so before we get all started in this show, everybody that comes on the show, so tell us a little bit of, what branch did you serve, what units did you deploy, not, what was your MOS, all that. Give us a rundown.
I did 7 years active duty. I was logistics, soup, damn right. And I deployed. I was in Saudi, and then I was in Jordan for Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom. Just a little dabble, and then I had the 7-year itch, and it was time to go.
Okay.
So I just been living life,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us, like for me, I was one of those kids in the late 80s, early 90s when I started, right after high school, I joined. It's like I know my reasons, but what were your reasons for joining the service? I guess, was it hey, look, I just want to be part of something. What was it that actually, for that calling, so to speak?
Well, truthfully, I wasn't ever going to join. I told myself, I was one of those. Now, this is a never say never, because I told myself I was never going to join. And I actually wanted to join the Peace Corps, but then I had a bad weekend when I was 20. So, so my girlfriend was like, hey, why don't you come talk to a recruiter? And we were there for 5 hours, and I was like, shit, why not? I don't have anything else to do. And I just rolled out.
Wow. As a former Marine Corps recruiter, it's one of those things. And by the way, shout out to big Mad Max Scott Gilman, who's watching the show right now. Obviously, always putting out my code, the code name that he gave me. So, hey, Hoochie in the house. But, yeah, that's what he calls me. And that's another whole lot of story. But hey, thanks for watching the show and supporting Scott. So yeah, I mean, for us, I mean, as a recruiter, when we had those kids that would come in, hey, I just, sign me up, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to ship out, whatever. I was like, okay, what is this dude trying to get away from? I try to dig up. So you were one of them, like, hey, just sign me up, and I want to be I just want to be part of something, right? Or what was it?
It started on Friday. My high school sweetheart broke up with me. We dated 3 years, so broke up with me on Friday. I moved out of his house and with my grandparents Saturday. Got fired from my job Sunday. And Sunday night, my girl was like, let's go talk to the recruiter. And like I said, 5 hours later, I was like, okay, Monday, let's go. I mean, I needed a fresh start, and it was pretty wild.
No, well,
Jean, I love you. That's my girl, Jean. That's my woman.
There you go. You got some fans on the show. Hey, thanks, Jean, for supporting the show. No, I mean, a lot of us, we need a fresh start. And I heard the story, not when obviously times have changed, even when I was a recruiter in the early 2000s. Times have changed. Even when I was younger, people, they wanted to get away from, change. A change from their environment, something that is going to set them aside because maybe that environment wasn't the best or conducive for growth in a positive manner, where maybe years later you would find yourself again going off the wrong track, that type of thing. So I think for a lot of us, it doesn't matter what branch it is, whether it's the Marine Corps, the Navy, the Coast Guard, the this, the that. I think it gave us all structure. One thing for me, I knew for sure, and I had scholarships offered, and it wasn't like, oh, this is the last thing. I just didn't want to stay home. I didn't want to.
Right.
I didn't want to, be a whopper flopper. And which, by the way, I did work at a Burger King, and I'm not giving props to Burger King, but I just didn't want to stay home and kind of not do nothing. So that led me to summer. I mean, and then after the summer, I mean, I was getting yelled at by drone instructors, and I'm really, really wondering what was it, questioning my choices in life at that moment. Was it the same for you?
Yes, absolutely. Like, I mean, yeah, they're sitting here and their breath is on your face and their spit's flying and you're supposed to be still. But me, because like you got your nickname, when I finally got to North Dakota, my nickname's Rebel Girl. So, but during basic training, they're sitting there, don't move. And I'm like, ha, you bastard, I'm moving my toe and you can't do anything about it. You know, like up in your head.
Oh, I thought, yeah, I'm like, there's no way you were saying that stuff out loud. I mean, you would have been, I know in the Marine Corps, I mean, we did have people like my mirror, on the other side of the squad bay. His name was Vaughn. I mean, I still remember this dude's name. And so he had a beam, cement beam in between on the squad bay, right? So if the drill instructor was looking down the squad bay, he couldn't really see him, that recruit directly. So this dude would lean against it, and then he would try to make us laugh by doing, just dumb stuff. If we were all, on our little skivvies in the middle of the night when they were doing counting off recruits, whatever, this dude would like, oh, hey, I think she jumped off. What she might have pressed something incorrectly. But hey, let me finish telling you the story. So what happened is this dude would turn around and like moon us and stuff, and it just and you're trying not to laugh. I mean, just a bunch of obviously young kids trying to do in boot camp and all that stuff. So I mean, those are just some of the things that and yeah, or when your girls got in your face and they're telling you like, hey, recruit, whatever. And because I used to hear the stories of people saying, well, man, if that guy gets in my face, I'll beat his ass and blah, blah, blah. And which, by the way, it ain't going to happen. Okay. I mean, drill instructors are some badass dudes. Doesn't matter the branch. I mean, them, obviously they're there to train you, but the whole thing, when somebody tells you, yeah, I beat my drill instructor's ass because of X, Y, Z, they're usually they're not telling the truth. So, that's just some of the things that obviously we're trying to, again, we're trying to make a change for life. So I'm sure it was the same for Christine. I'm just waiting for her to pop back on because she might be having some technical difficulties with her interweb. So either she got a phone call because I think she hotspots. So, but yeah, Christine, a little bit of her background. She did supply. Obviously, logistics it's a very important part of the military. I myself, along with Scott Gilman, we were both logisticians. I was more on the side of the maintenance side of things. So what does that mean is that obviously we help put vehicles together. We were the movers and shakers of the transportation industry. I guess that's a very nice way of putting it. I mean, we were grease monkeys. So we worked with supply hand in hand when we were requisitioning parts from the system. So which is not easy because obviously you're trying to maintain readiness in your command. In other words, so that in the event that we get called off and hey, we got to deploy an entire unit back into. There you go. She's back, hey! Everybody. Yeah. Now we're just saying that you being. It must be the cat in the background that might have chewed off on the whole internet cable or something.
That's Apache.
So,
it wouldn't be Apache. It'd be my daughter's dog Dot. She's the one who eats everything.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What's the wildest, funniest thing that ever happened to you while in your MOS?
The wildest thing?
Yeah, the wildest or funniest thing,
well, Okay, when I first got stationed in North Dakota, I didn't have a car, and I got there in like October, I think, and then when it started getting cold and freezing, I'd have to walk to work. Well, I'm always late and rushed, so I jump up in the morning, showered, soaking wet hair. I had to walk 7 blocks to work. It was like, I think it was -35. I don't even remember. It was something really stupid. And how in Dumb and Dumber their hair freezes and the snot freezes. It is a real thing. Because by the time I got there, I was like a human popsicle. Because I was new, so nobody stopped and gave me a ride or nothing. So I just had to truck it out.
Wow. I can just see that scene in the movie where they're in that little lawnmower,
the moped.
Snot. So when you got there, your hair's like all frozen and stuff.
Oh well, it's down like this. It was complete like little frozen hanging icicles, and then your face, your boogers are frozen, and you have to thaw out. Like it, yeah. I don't recommend it, but it was an experience.
Nice. Hey Val, shout out to Val for another. Hey, she's a fellow Marine. I get some thanks, Val, for supporting our show. Shout out to her amazing restaurant back in North Carolina, baby. So yeah, she's an amazing
I
cook.
love food now.
Yeah. So hey, careful. We're gonna go over there and pay her a visit. So Christine, so after you transition and after your 7 years in the service, so what led you to your next chapter after post-service?
When I got out, because when I was a single mom. I became a single mother, and I deployed, and I missed my son's 2nd and 3rd birthday, and I got pregnant with my daughter, and they were like, well, when she's 6 months old, you're going to Iraq. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going. So I got an honorable and went home, and it was a beautiful blessing because I got to spend, it was 2 weeks shy of her 1st birthday. I was able to stay home with her because I missed all that with my son. And at the time, my ex-mother-in-law, she was like, hey, there's a position in a newspaper for a school registrar. And I was like, all right, right on. So I applied, and I was a counselor's clerk for our local, it was a Jasper County high school and middle school. And that's how I met Jean. And she came down and enrolled her son, Timmy. Like I've known him since it was 05, 06. I loved it.
And that's great. And you've done some, a little bit of everything, landscaping, like you just, working at a high school, doing admin work. Yeah. You say you do oil changes, even grave digging. I mean, Jesus. So what's been your favorite and least favorite gig and everything that you've done? I mean, it's like, man, you got a newspaper stand and a newspaper route as well.
No, I don't have that yet. That's one thing I haven't done. Like I haven't been a server. I've been a bartender. My favorite's nature taming. Like my weed eater, her name is Janice Choplin, and
I was gonna say, damn it, you took one of my things here, but that's okay.
Yeah, my bad, yo. But she it's a real thing. I have this relationship with her, and I love her so much because not many people love weed eating, but I really do. I like being outside. Yeah.
So what's tell us the backstory of the whole weed eater, because I want to explore this a little bit more. So how did the name come about and stuff?
Well, Janice Joplin, and I had to name her, and she chopped shit up, so it was Janice Joplin.
Okay.
After I did the counseling stuff, I worked with a couple. Oh, Jean, I freaking love you, woman. Oh my God, she's just got my heart. I worked with Christy and Justin Wyatt, and they taught me I backfilled houses, fixed water main leaks. We'd fix water main leak, then go get 300 square bells after work. In 1 week working with them, my hands touched 640 bells a week draw.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And so doing the landscaping, and when I was done with them in transition, and I was talking to my mama, I was like, well, I know how to landscape, and so I need a weed eater. And she's like, so my mom bought me a weed eater, and I rolled out. Like
literally, right?
Yeah. And my lawnmower, her name is Clementine. She's a 54-inch bad boy because she's Clemmy with the Hemi. I
was gonna say, I'm like, man, if she rolls out, like she's got a Hemi, with the 3 cylinders and a big block. God damn it,
Oh man, she's a beast. I put 300 hours on her by her 1st birthday.
Damn. Yeah, the fact that the hours of service that you've been using this thing is pretty funny. That's really, really cool. So with so many different jobs, what's kept you, man? It's fucking what's kept you moving forward instead of like feeling stuck. Like a lot of people, a lot of us vets, obviously we had a little bit off conversation, things that, in life that kind of shapes our future or even our current situation. And you've been through, a lot of challenges in the life. So, but with so many things that you've done, what's kept you moving forward instead of feeling stuck?
Well, the biggest thing was my children, because I couldn't stop when getting separated from my husband, and I had to keep providing for my daughter. I mean, and as a parent, I'm sure we do whatever it is that we have to do, and I was driven. I had a purpose, and so and all that part though, it was survival. I was just surviving. Now it's different at this stage in life. It's not just survival; it's actually living and enjoying. And that I couldn't quit. I even worked at a body shop. I've done, like I said, you name it, whatever I could find to help make ends meet, to put food on the table.
And you need to meet Scott. Scott, he and I were mechanics in the Marine Corps, but this dude right there, he's currently building a car right now. Hey, Scott, I got your body painter right here. She does plastering and all that good bonding.
I actually learned yeah, a little bit. Scott, come to Georgia and fix my Yoda. I got a 96 Toyota Tacoma, and she needs some love. I need to roll
there
out.
You go.
Yeah, I got 96 Tacoma. She's my taco, my Yoda, and then I got a 91 Caddy.
Man, you got a name for everything. Jeez.
I do actually. The Caddy, she's silver, and she's got the chrome at the bottom, and her name is Flo.
Right. What year?
91.
Oh, no kidding. So you got the big one?
Yeah. Well, she's kind of like the medium, the sedan DeVille. She's not the real long one.
Yeah.
Oh
man, that is really, really cool. So, and you had mentioned that. I know part of the thing you said that you're a tree hugging wildflower tamer. So I guess tell us a bit about your connection with nature and everything, as being a free spirited type of person.
Oh man, I've always been. I love just flowers. I am a wildflower. I love flowers. I do love nature. God sends me feathers. I find feathers all the time. I take and I make things with sticks, and I love rocks. Oh my God, shiny rocks. I did a job one time, and I was wearing my BDU pants, and I come out looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I couldn't hardly walk because I had so many rocks stuffed in all my pockets, and I was just like this, toting shit, and I got some in my arm, and here's a weed eater and a gas can, and I got rocks. Like, I've always been like that. I can't explain it. I know when I was working with my boss, Christy, I remember one time we did this one house. It was Bennett Cove, and it had a 5-acre pond, and we had to weed eat and clean it up, get ready for a wedding. And so afterwards, she's like, let's go fishing. So we're in the boat, and like she knows I've been through a lot of shit, and I look over there, I'm like, hey, look at that. That's a pretty flower, on the bank. And she's like, only you will look at a weed and call it a flower. So it's
No, that's really cool. I mean, it's kind of like somewhat poetic. It's how you see life. I mean, you can see the glass, you can see it and I know it's a kind of like a cliche a little bit, but I mean, you can see it half empty or you can see it half full, because we all have a choice as to, in the morning, what kind of day. And I've said this in many, many shows, what kind of day do you want to have? You're going to have a good day or a shitty day. I mean, the choice is yours. Right at that moment when you I'm like, oh my God, here's my life, regardless of, and despite whatever you got going, it's all about shifting your focus and, seeing something as some people say, oh man, that's a weed. Let's kill it. Let's whatever, you saw it. Oh, what a beautiful flower. Does that make sense?
It totally. Yeah. You make that decision. Yeah. I mean, you're like, you could totally be in the shit of all shits. And I've been around that, like just in things are heavy and it's dark and your light gets dimmed and you have a decision. Wow. Either you can let it take you out or you can hold on to the ember that you are, and you need to start breathing life back into yourself. You need to I make this choice. Yeah, things are hard, but it's going to be okay because everything always works out. The problem is we have a preconceived notion like, oh, I want it to go this way. But then when it don't go how we think it should go, it all sucks. Just because it don't go our way, like we're like water. You gotta.
Damn, did you just quote Bruce Lee right there?
I don't know, just sprinkle some knowledge. Yeah. Like,
oh shit, you just went Bruce Lee on me without saying it was Bruce Lee. Man, that's awesome.
It's Gen X. We kind of, we're different.
Yeah, we are building. By the way, you're welcome, Gen Zs. We gave you Xbox and all the other cool shit that you guys like to distract yourself. So
have you seen the T-shirt that says Gen X? We were raised on the Galect and water hoses.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
100%. Let me ask you something. You've been through a lot, and obviously life has thrown. I mean that, and I guess you could say the kitchen sink at you. And you still, like we just talked, you still find beauty in the beauty of the beauty in life and beauty in things. How has your faith, I guess, played a role in that? Because I know earlier, before jumping on earlier today, you kind of touched a little bit about that. But how has that helped you, to get through these challenges?
It's been everything, and I think as I level up more and more, I realize how much more important the faith is. I've always been a believer. It's just through the past couple years, life events and everything. I mean, it just like, you know what I mean? I am solid. I'm a daughter of the Most High, and every day I get up, just like how you make a decision on how you're going to be. Well, I've made a decision to walk in faith and trust the Lord with everything that I have. And
no, that's awesome. And great, great something that to hear somebody saying also that, hey, look, I'm here. I believe in a higher purpose. And look, not to get preachy on anybody, but whatever your higher purpose is, I mean, we all, I'm a huge Poison fan. Remember Poison, the rock band? I mean, they used to have this amazing song is "Give Me Something to Believe In." I mean, that song I think is amazing. What advice would you give someone who's struggling to find the good in tough situations? What would you say to that person?
What helped me, I can only put it into perspective, because from my understanding, they say that negativity and gratitude cannot coexist at the same time. So it goes with your choice, and it's also like the story in the Bible. Oh gosh, why am I drawing a blank? But it's when they're in prison, but they choose to praise. Like you praise in the dark. You praise in or you just take one single thing that you're grateful for. Because if it's a red car theory. Like if you have a red car and you start looking all you see red cars, well, if you start thinking positive or having gratitude, being thankful for your breath, thankful that you can see, thankful you've got food, when you start focusing more on that, then it shifts it.
No, it's exact, man. You're preaching everything that I've had other episodes, talking about. It's that mind shift. Where is it that you want to be, and then projecting yourself and your energy, because it is true what it says. I mean, birds of a feather
flock together.
Flock together. So
here, look at all my feathers up there.
Yeah, and then if you talk negative and bring and whatever, that's the only thing that you're gonna attract into your life. So
it really is. And they say, like, when you sit here and all you do is vent and just all this, just like word diarrhea, you know what I'm saying? Literally. But then all you do is start to focus on it. That's all you see all the time. And you're basically just like solidifying it when you're like, no, I mean, things, and just because you have a bad day or this and that, it doesn't make a bad life. It doesn't make a bad year. You had a shitty couple hours, but that's all right. There's still 24 hours in a day. You've had more positive and negative. It's all in what you look at.
No, and you're 100% right. Let me ask you something. What's been the biggest lesson you've learned through all of life's ups and downs?
Oh, just be like water. Just flow with it. Because the more you resist, the harder it's going to get. And yeah.
What we resist persists, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Fear, face
Yeah.
everything and recover. Face everything and rise. I mean, there is no failure. Everything, there is no failure. Everything is a lesson.
If you were to talk to young Christine, who's getting ready to raise her right hand and say, I do solemnly swear to defend the Constitution of the United States against enemies, foreign and domestic, so on and so forth, would you still tell her, hey, go ahead, this is great for you, go ahead and do it? Or would you say,
No,
what
watch it out.
what advice would you tell her to set it up for success even that much better while in her tenure in the service?
I would say rock it out, do it, because that was absolutely one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life. Just the structure and the discipline, and I totally need it, and it's good for us. You know what I'm saying? We think we don't need it or want it, but that's bullshit, because we do. We need a guideline. We need a structure. Maybe not yelling and spitting in my face, but everything else is cool, right? Like, I would say do it and go for it, and just stay focused and do your best. Don't shy away from the tough. You just go ahead first and give it your all, because there's no reason to half-ass. Don't half-ass, because that's lame. And
nice.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't have said it better myself. And look, everybody right there, you're hearing it from somebody else. It's not just me, here in the show, me saying a lot of things that you have said here, Christine, pretty much, it's coming straight from you. So I hope somebody out there is finally, is listening like, man, okay, it's not just Pacho saying it. Now we got, there's another amazing, badass veteran out there in the community. Things sometimes may not be easy. However, but things, even shitty times do pass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but look, you got to have the shit to grow.
That's true.
It's the fertilizer,
There you go.
Right? All these things, right?
No, dude, it's been we're definitely gonna have to bring you back on the show. But what will be, tell us any last words for our listeners of resilience. And by the way, folks, if some of Christine's story resonated with you and you want to talk to her some more, Christine, where can people engage with you on social media or anywhere else for that matter? Where can they find you?
I'm on Facebook. That's right, Gene. That's right. It is. Christine Cobb Kennedy on Facebook. I think that's my same on Instagram. Just hit me up, chat, send me a message, whatever. Like I'll talk to you. I'll do. Because awesome. I've learned life the hard way. It's all about it's the hard way. I was real stubborn, real defiant, real so I've learned by doing. So it's complete life experience. I've been through the college of life experience. I may not have a degree in in actual school, but I have degree in situations.
In life, like you said, we all graduated, with a degree in life, some a more prestigious degree than others, but yet here we are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Christine, it's been an amazing time spending a little bit, getting to know you. You're definitely one of those guests that we'll definitely bring back just to kind of have a different conversations on anything and everything. Cool. So thanks so much for your service.
Thank you so much, Pacho, my brother. I appreciate you.
All right. Well, we'll be seeing you. Okay. We'll be talking some more. Hurrah. Semper Fi. Hey, everybody. Hey, it's been what an amazing experience. What an amazing person. Again, if her story resonated with you and you want to engage, you need a little bit of motivation. My girl Christine, that's the person that you want to talk to. And speaking of motivation, if you find yourself where you're going down that rabbit hole where you can't, where you're questioning life, you're just feeling like you can't get out of that hole and you keep digging yourself deeper and deeper, hey, you can always reach out. And I really mean this. Reach out to our show. Reach out to Military One Source, TRICARE, the Veteran Suicide Hotline. Reach out to somebody, because at the end of the day, nobody here wants to be talking and saying so many nice things about you at your eulogy. Suicide is definitely not the answer. Like Christine and I just said, shitty times do pass by, and that is the fertilizer which can lead to something better. All right, so it's all about perspective. So at least give me the opportunity to talk you off the ledge. Send me a text, and we can have a conversation regardless of what time of night it is. So. But I think this is a good way to stop the show, everybody. So if you haven't done a buddy check in the last couple of weeks, hey, check on your friends, see how they're doing. Just tell them, hey, what's up, asshole? How you doing, motivator? And hey, pass it on. All right. So with that being said, everybody, I just want to say, hey, thanks so much. Thanks for supporting the show. And I think this is a good time to end it. So, Ice Tomas, Dice the Key. We'll see you next week, everybody. All right, get some. Bye-bye.